What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining me today. My name is Kevin and I never sleep. Like this video if I just scared the shit out of you. I bet you weren't expecting that. I bet you weren't expecting me to just fly in from out of the blue with my own commentary on this. You thought I was gonna let you sit through a whole 13-minute long speed art video to some snazzy copyright music? Pfft, you don't know me at all. It's not like this is my first video on my YouTube channel or anything. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for clicking on this video and tolerating me so far. Let's see if we can keep this going. What you are witnessing right now is 28 to 30 hours worth of Blender modeling and texturing and rigging and animating. And you saw the final result at the very beginning of this video. I'm a little bit proud of what I could achieve in 28 to 30 hours worth of work spread out over the course of 5 days. You know, I had work and stuff, you know, adulting kind of stuff. I want to get to a point where I can do this for the rest of my life and get paid for it. That would be really awesome because I'm really passionate about 3D art, really passionate about Blender, even though I only started learning it 1 year ago. At the end of September, it will be 1 year ago that I started learning Blender. I'm really pumped about 3D art, guys. It drives me. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up, and it's the last thing I think about when I go to sleep. I'm always in my own little world, thinking about things like this. Like, what am I gonna model next, you know? I want to show people all that you can do in Blender, because it's just amazing. I guess I should probably explain what the heck it is you're watching. Well, I modeled the dragon. I'm still working on that model, as you can see there. I'm trying to explain this to you real time as we're watching this speed art. I've placed the gums in the mouth because I didn't want the teeth just sticking out of the mouth like that. That would be a little weird looking. But going in, lazily duplicating the teeth that I made. And then I modeled the tongue. And I continue to model, and I'm modeling the front arms. The only time I actually looked at a dragon reference was to see if most dragons typically have front arms, or if their front arms are just replaced with wings. I don't know. Some dragons have 4 legs and wings, and some dragons just have 2 legs and wings as arms. And then after I modeled it, I UV unwrapped it, and that's what you see there. When you UV unwrap something, it becomes a flat image. Like the model that you made, it becomes this flat image that you have to paint, and then it just wraps around the model as you see it. And then my method of painting was this really sloppy way of just painting these sloppy lines and then erasing them in the pattern of reptilian scales. And I just continue this pattern all throughout the body of the dragon. And then after that, it's all a matter of creating bump maps and specular maps, which, if you don't know, that's determining how much light is bouncing off the scales. So the whiter the scales are, the more light is going to hit and bounce off of the scales, whereas the darkest areas, no light is going to hit at all. And gray is somewhere in between. Bump maps are these grayscale low contrast deals where it's like the whiter it is, the bumpier the surface looks. It creates this illusion that you see bumpiness on an otherwise flat surface. And then I kind of go back and I'm kind of all over the place, and I model some extra things to make him look a little more badass, I guess. I'm modeling the wings, and then I'm painting over the wings. And then I do a bump map for the wings as well, because I want the wings to have these kind of veins. So I'm painting on these really thin white lines over the gray backdrop, which would make these veins look like they're popping out from the flat surface of the wings. And then I work on the eye, and I bring the eye color into Photoshop to kind of make it more contrasty and cool looking, and I smear a lot and make the iris with the smudge tool. And then I import the eye back into the model and I adjust it like so. And once I'm happy with the model, everything's good to go, and I begin to prepare for animation. And the way you do that is you start placing the bones within your model in the places where you would think that you want your model to be able to bend and move. So each of these bones is going to have their own individual movement. And then once you're done placing the bones, then you gotta paint how exactly you want the bones to be influenced throughout your model. But 3D programs like Blender have this fantastic feature where they automatically weight paint the bones if you pair it to the mesh in a certain way. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but when it does work, it's very good, and then it's only a matter of going through each bone and just making some corrections. Like, as you can see, the arm's moving, and I don't want the wing to move with the arm, so I'm correcting that, and I'm erasing the influence from the wing, from the arm bone, if that makes any sense. So the arm is moving separately from the wing, and the wing isn't influenced by the arm moving at all. And I even did the same for the little fins on his back there. And then after that, this is a matter of making animation a little bit easier. I'm setting the controls for inverse kinematics, and that sounds very complicated. Not really. Not really. For those who don't know, inverse kinematics is, it's a way to control how the bones connect to each other and bend. It's a very crappy explanation, I know. But it's like your foot bone's connected to your leg bone. Wherever the feet go, the legs are going to follow. That's an inverse kinematics in a nutshell. And then after that, it all comes down to animation. And watching an animator work is kind of like watching paint dry. It's like you move it a little bit, you move your model a little bit, you add a keyframe. You move your model a little bit in a different position, you add a keyframe. It kind of reminds me of my old little stop motion movie days when I made little stop motions. Let me tell you, working in stop motion has given me a whole new appreciation for computer animation and how easy it is. But anyway, I got lazy and I was under a time constraint, so what I did with his wings was I posed them a certain way and I copied and pasted the wings back and forth, so they kind of move consistently throughout. If this were reality, the wings wouldn't flap exactly the same every time. And I kind of screwed myself by making his wings flap kind of this way, so he's kind of flying backwards. So I had to justify it by making him fly backwards a little bit to kind of match the motion of his wings. Because if his wings are moving forward, they're gonna propel him backwards. So that's what I was doing when I was animating. I was bringing him up and back a little bit, up and back a little bit, to make it make sense with how his wings were moving. And then after that, it was all a matter of positioning the camera and tracking the camera back, and then moving the camera up with him as he flew off. And that was my dragon animation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And leave some constructive criticism if you have any. I'd love to hear it. I just want to know what you guys think. And yeah, I think I covered all my bases. But I got another video coming out later. I'm in the middle of editing. We're going to be critiquing expensive turbo squid models, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, thank you guys for putting up with me today, and I will see you all in the next one.